I wanted to ask Yaya a question, because when I watch the movie, every time, I've seen it now twice, 3 times, and every time I see it and I see you get spit on, I just wonder, does something primal take over? I think there's nothing worse in the world, and I think about all those people who did that for us. But I just think, even as an actor, you're acting, but when somebody spits on you, does it take you to another space inside yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse, also for talking about authenticity. I think one of the things that was great about Lee as a director, especially in our scenes, it was so crucial that the extras be just as authentic as the costumes, as all the other details that the set designers spent so much energy into recreating. And it was the first time that I saw a director address the extras the way that Lee does, and really make them feel important, included, and just as pivotal to the movie's success as the principal actors. And because of that, and it took, especially in that scene, it took a lot of encouragement. The girl did not want to do it. She was, she felt bad, and it just had to be real. We tried to do it fake, and it didn't work. And, Lee, like everyone else is saying, is kind of relentless. So we're sitting there, and we're supposed to be composed. We're supposed to be enduring this and having compassion for our oppressors, right? And Lee's like, again, so yes, it felt real. The stench was real. I wanted to vomit afterward. My heart rate was high. I was, shaking, and body temperature rises. Everything about acting is so fascinating. It's make-believe, but then it's not. You're lending your body over completely to a character, and at times it can really affect you, and it can take a really long time after he yells "cut" to shake it off. Yeah, that was probably the roughest scene that I've shot thus far in life, and but it was a really great experience. It was great. Thank you.
We felt that watching.
We spend so much time running from discomfort in life and in anything that we do, and the process of making the film is really about diving headlong into it and catching it on film for you guys to absorb, and that's authenticity, I think.
I was just wondering, Lee, and I'm not a question asker, and this is not my place, but it's that scene. Just Oprah, when you brought it up, I really had to thank you because that actually happened to me, and I know people would be in shock and not really want to believe or accept that, but it did. So it's like that right there, that was almost the deepest thing to me in the movie, because I know what you went through, and it happened to be on a bus as well. It was a school bus, but it was.
Where somebody spit on you?
Yeah, in the face and in the same way.
And it's
but
gross.
It
It is the vilest thing,
Yeah.
That was I did this movie because it was for me, it was a father-son story, and it was a father and son love affair, and which transcends race. So it really wasn't the civil rights movement was in the back of my head. I loved the father and son, how Danny constructed this father and son sort of love affair. And we don't see it with African-American families. And that was the beauty of the story. And it wasn't until we were on the bus and we were shooting that bus scene where it was hot, and we were on a bus where black men were actually hung from. They were hung from that bridge that we were shooting it at. And I yell, "Action!" And I'm in the bus with these actors and these kids, and from nowhere come the Nazis and the KKK and the cursing and the spitting and the shaking of the bus. And I yell, "Cut!" And they can't hear me, and they continue on. And David and Yaya and I are looking at each other like, "What the hell?" And then for that millisecond, I understood what it was like to be them. Not just the black kids that were there, but the white kids that were there, that were willing to risk their lives for freedom. They were heroes. And I broke down crying because I knew then that this was not just a father and son love story. This was some other kind of big kind of other kind of thing that, as Oprah says, the aha moment. Yeah.
The life story moment. Now, Minka has not, you go. Minka has not had a chance to talk, and I wanted her to tell me about stepping into a character that so many actresses have stepped into, an iconic character. How did you make her your own?
Well, first I had to sort of convince Lee that I would work hard enough to be able to step into her shoes, right? Lee didn't even want to meet with me.
Oh, now Minka, that's sort
He
of
was like,
true.
"Ooh,
True, that's so true.
Tell the truth, baby.
But I love her.
True.
She was come on.
Well, I
you
was
know.
lucky enough to get the meeting with him, and like you have a few-hour conversation, and we had such a beautiful exchange, and I was lucky enough to get this role.
And I fell in love with her. I mean, that's what it was. It was a love affair.
It absolutely was. And I knew before I met him how lucky I would be to have the opportunity to work with him. And speaking about, I think to play this character, the only difference of maybe experiences playing this role was having Lee be my director, only because it afforded the opportunity for some very authentic moments. I think the spontaneity that comes with working with Lee, or it allows for a lot of honesty, and a lot of talk has gone on about very real moments. And so his passion for that authenticity is very exciting, I think, as an actor, to be in that space, to be pushed in the way that he pushes you. I'm very grateful for that experience. And I think it was really exciting, his approach to want to explore the Kennedys in a way they've never been seen, because we have seen them so many times, and like James said, we know them so well, and I thought it was really exciting to explore them in a way we haven't seen them. And as far as like showing up on set, there are scenes that you never know what to expect on a Lee Daniels set. You may show up and decide to do a scene that wasn't even in the movie. Like the scene that is in the movie wasn't in the script. I didn't even know we were going to do that, the scene after the assassination. I didn't know that's what I would have had to do, and that's just a really exciting thing to be pushed as an actor, to know that you have that in you, and I think that's also why he likes to get to know his actors, because he wants to know what's in there, what can he get out of you, and I think that's exciting to watch, as well as it's just as exciting to explore and let out.
Minka didn't know that she was going to cry that day, and it was, I said, "You're going to cry today. Your husband's been killed." And she said, "Okay, let me get into it." So it's sort of like that where you find the truth and what people are really feeling, and how the actor reacts to a particular situation.
Question? I know we have a lot of questions, I'm sorry. We have good answers already.
Hi, Kurt Osenlund from Filmmaker. My question's for Oprah. We've heard from a lot of people here about working with Lee, but I wanted to hear from you as someone who has interviewed and worked with and mentored so many artists. What, in your opinion, makes Lee unique, and what part of this process convinced you that he was the essential director to do this film?
Well, I had worked with him on Precious behind the scenes, and so I wanted the opportunity to be in his hands, really. And contrary to what everybody may assume about me, or what some people assume, I'm really not a control freak. I really like hiring people who, as I run my businesses, I like people who know. I want to hire somebody who knows what they're doing, so I don't have to do it. And then come back to me and tell me it's done. So that's really how I like to operate. So the whole notion that I am the kind of person who likes to control everything, I am not. But there were some things on set, because I am the oldest person on set, I think. I was the oldest person on set, because I'd lived through the Kennedy assassination, that I had some definite opinions
I
about.
believe Dame Vanessa Redgrave was there as well. And she's
I was not there on her day.
I know. I had to throw it in for you both of you.
But that's good. Somebody was older than I. But the truth. This is what I would say. What is exciting and why we all love him. He is a truth seeker, and what David was saying earlier about bringing you to the monitor, he will literally not let any of his actors get away with a breath that's a false moment. And I can testify to that because he pulled me over to the monitor one day and he said, look, you see how she's leaning in there? You see how Gloria's leaning in there? I said, yeah. He said, and you see, you took a breath, drop the breath. So I went, drop the breath? You mean like don't breathe? He goes, I don't want to hear it, don't want to see it. So I would have to say that in every moment, he doesn't allow you as an actor to get away with anything that even remotely appears to be fake. And if he does, he'll start yelling, fake, which is, I mean.
Forrest, did you experience that too? Or you're so true that didn't happen?
So the monitor stuff?
Yeah, did Lee call you on the?
Yeah, I mean, he was always watching. It was more for me, it was more about like being less and less, you know, and I mean, he used to say that for a lot, you know, a lot of people was like, give me 50% of that, give me 10%, you know,
Now give me 1/8 of that.
Yeah, you know.
Now give me nothing.
Now give me nothing.
Just stay there.
And what is nothing?
I mean, he was
What
so
is nothing?
serious about nothing being fake. Why do you think I didn't have a tooth in that movie? he saw that tooth, he was like, fake, get rid of it. Get rid of it. I want the little brown thing. That's truth, that little truth.
Okay, we have a question here. We're winding down. So this woman is standing up.
Thank you. Congratulations to everyone. Wonderful film. I have a question for Lee and Danny. Lee, just to make this a little bit more light, could you talk about the process of casting some of the legends you casted? We know how Oprah came on board,
Yeah.
but Vanessa Redgrave, Robin Williams, Alan Rickman, Jane Fonda. I mean,
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about that. And then Danny, and we want to hear from you. Could you talk about some of the decisions you made and what you kept and
Can we
what
do
you
the
didn't?
one question just because we're kind of rolling? Can we
Okay.
do the thank you?
Go, Lee.
Danny doesn't talk so much, so I want Danny to talk. Danny,
Oh, okay,
what was the question for Danny?
Okay, good. I'm so sorry.
But the question was, how did you get all those legends to be in it?
Well, it started with Danny's script. Danny wrote this incredible script, and I think that everybody was attracted. All these actors here are, you know, they're pretty. Leah, I mean, you know, these are some very. I'm so honored to be working with these people up here, and I think it started with Danny's material. The material it always starts with the word. Cuba, you know, I can't. These people here they've read 1 million scripts, and so you know the truth when you see it. And they know I didn't have no money to pay them. We had a little tiny trailer and some M&Ms. So, you know, it was, most of them lost money being here. And it was,
I missed the M&M part. I didn't even get
well, you got trail mix.
No, there was no peanuts.
I got trail
in
mix.
M&Ms.
But I think that it started with Danny's script, and I think that we had a great producer, Pam Williams, who took over for Laura Ziskind, who really helped, you know, make sure that the deals were right, and you know, I just sort of was the puppeteer, you know, to it all, and I'm just, you know, I got to take a moment to say it took us 4 years to get this piece off of the ground because Hollywood said that this movie could not be made. And Pam, our producer, when Laura passed, hit up everybody, these individuals, close to 25 people that invested into this piece. And it's not a movie for me, you all, it's a movement. And I am forever grateful to her for that.
One last question, and then everybody's seated, and this gentleman is going to ask the question.
Tony Phillips from Random House Word and Film. My question's for Oprah. I'm going to spend some time with Danny after this in a little more intimate setting, and I was wondering if you could, if I could just lean on your background as a journalist for a second. If you were doing a live class with Danny, could you give me a rough sketch of how you would introduce him, and also what is his teachable moment?
Danny Strong? I think his teachable moment for this movie is that he had the absolute privilege of not just being around and interviewing the Butler, but experiencing the energy of him in a way that none of us did. And so I think that what he was able to put into his script The Heart and Soul of the Butler, which is not just his story, but a compilation of all the stories of all the men who were like him, would be the big teachable moment. I think the movie is the teachable moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this event was a teachable moment. And now, everybody, we're going to have you stay seated because the actors and the director and the writer are going to walk off. So if you
Teachable moment.
Thank you so much.